Good morning, traders. Today is Friday, September 17th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. All right. So I'm going to start the day with this thesis very simplistically. I think today is going to be a very muted, very boring rotational day. Okay, I think the market's just going to kind of grind around in a tight range and not have any fireworks. Of course, it's always possible, and I'll talk about what that would look like if we got it. But let me start by making a case for why I think today is going to be very boring. Okay? So to start us off, first and foremost, today is an options expiry Friday. Okay? That means the monthly options are expiring today, and that very commonly leads to a boring, muted day in the market while those options positions are kind of being rolled over. So I would say it doesn't always happen, but I would say like 4 out of 5 times that we have an options expiry Friday, it's a very boring day in the market. Okay, so that doesn't mean we can't have a crazy move. We can't have a ton of volatility. We've had lots of volatility over the last few days, but my guess is our day today is going to look a lot like this overnight right here, where we're just going to kind of grind around. Okay, so that's the first reason I think we might have a muted day today. So next up, what I want to talk about is the balancing area. So let me just pull up the daily chart. So this is the daily on the candlesticks. And what we'll notice here is that we have created a 5-day balancing area. For those of you that are unaware of the way balancing area works, this is a very common thing in the market. Where it gets excess, it moves to a new area. And then it has to spend time balancing off that excess of that move down. So earlier we had a balancing area up here, and then that broke to the downside, and it led to this sell-off, right? Balance leads to excess to the downside, and now we have started a new balancing area down here, okay? So what does that mean for a balancing area? Well, if you're going to try to trade a balancing area, essentially, you want to be very, very careful entering trades in the middle of the range because the market can pretty much go anywhere, right? It can go up, it can go down, it can go up and down, it can do anything inside this balancing area. It's just kind of bouncing around. So the best plays when you see the market has developed a longer term balancing area like this, like a 5-day balance, is to look for potential breakouts to the upside and downside. So that would be the market trades up to one end and it either finds resistance and it can't get above that balancing area high, which is a short for continuation down, or it does what's called a look above and fail, where it looks above that balance area, pulls back down, does not find support. That is a really good short trade to the opposite end of balance. And then the same way the other direction, right? If the market trades down to the balance area low, finds support, it's a good trade to the upside. Or if it trades down, looks below the balancing area, and then pulls back in, that is also a good trade to go long to the opposite end of balance. Okay? The alternative to those look above and fail type of situations would be if the market pushes up above the balancing area, pulls back down, and then finds support there. That is also a very good long trade, and then the same thing to the downside. It looks below the balancing area, pulls back up, finds resistance. That is a good short trade for continuation to the downside. So, okay, great, Charles. I see you. I hear you. If we're up here at those, these levels or down here at these levels, there's a play. But what do I do in the middle? What do I do right now? Well, for me, going into today, because we're right in the middle of that larger balancing area, I'm waiting for the market. I'm going to be very patient before entering a trade, and I'm going to wait for the market to give me a clear signal of what it's trying to do. Okay? That might mean one of 3 scenarios. Either we break the highest big node of volume to the upside, which I'll show you in a minute when the data loads. We break the lowest large node of volume to the downside, which again, I'll show you when the data loads, or we rotate. If we're going to be rotational, I need to wait for the signal that we're rotational, which will probably not be until the C period, so probably not for another hour and a half. And then when I know we're just rotational inside this range, which to me is the highest probability for today, then I would play it as a rotational day. okay, which is essentially a reversion to the mean trade where I'm going long on the lower end of the day and going short on the upper end and taking profits in the middle. Okay. All right. We're also opening inside the previous day's value area and the previous day's range. Literally just opened a couple of bucks above the previous day's point of control. So grind and chop early in the morning is to be expected. Okay. I know that's not super exciting to hear. What, Charles? You think it's just going to be a boring rotational day? No. That's what it feels like to me. So this is what I was talking about with that highest node. If we got up to here, so let's call that 44.70.75, and we couldn't get above this level, we found resistance here, I'd be happy to go short, right? So we push up, we can't get above there, go short. Or if we push up, get above it, come back down and find support, I'd be willing to go long looking for the breakout on the upside. So what does that mean? It means I'm not going to fall in love with that long trade. I'm going to be looking to see what happens when we get above yesterday's high. So if I get long, we push through this node, come back down, find some support. I get long there, and we get up to here, and we're finding resistance. I'll just take profits right there. I'm not going to sit in that all day. But if, again, we push above, come back down and find support, that is what I was talking about earlier, that larger balancing area. That is a breakout of that, which is a very potent long. If you push above, find support, and then it's a very potent short if you look above and then you fail and you pull back in, because you often trade to the opposite end of balance. Okay? So I would front run that a little bit if we get through this node of volume here, or down on the downside, this node of volume here right around the 44.42 level. Same play. Otherwise, in between there, I'm just going to let the market grind around until I get the cessation of one time framing, and I know that the market is rotational. This K low is repaired because we opened below it. So if you're wondering what I mean by a rotational day, this overnight was a rotational day. So if today's range trades and it looks like this, I would basically be looking to go short up in here, take profits in the middle, and then go long down here and take profits in the middle. All day long. That would be the way to trade it. Oh man, the comments are lit this morning. 72 people watching, 15 likes. Let's smash that like button, that thumbs up. Get that algorithm going. Tell the world you like the pirate. Mangala, good morning to you. Welcome. Rad, good morning to you. Mangala Drudge report. What's the report? Core. I'm looking for a pop in one direction, a trend day for Friday. Yeah, to me, that seems the least likely scenario here, but it's not impossible. Just we've had so much volatility the last few days, it would be silly to assume that that couldn't continue. But to me, it feels like just because it's an options expiry Friday, a monthly options, and the fact that we're right dead center in the middle of a larger balancing area, that increases the odds of rotation in my mind. But like I said, if they get below this node of volume down here to the downside, 44.40, I'll be happy to go short looking for that volatility, or if they get above 44.70 on the upside. Shubha good morning to you. RK Leon, good to see you. Welcome. Philip saying be careful, lots of options expiring. Absolutely. Mangala saying today is going to be tricky. Well, that's why I'm saying if we have the patience to let the market grind around for the A and B period, and then we get the cessation of one time framing in the C, it will set us up for a very nice day of reversion to the mean trades, which shouldn't be hard. It should be relatively simple. It might take a lot of patience because it might be boring. Often these options expiry days get very, very boring. But outside of that, the plays should be easy to read. Mangala, hope I do better today. Don't hope it, believe it. You can, you will, you must. Today is your day for making money, brother. Better late than never. That's what I say. This week was a disaster to you, Mangala? Well, those disastrous weeks are the opportunities to learn, right? To grow your skill set. Analyze where you went wrong with each and every individual trade, and then look for opportunities to correct those mistakes, to implement rules into your system so those things don't keep happening. Trading Donkey, good morning to you. Jesus kind of dumping into the open. No big deal. Dumping right down to that POC from yesterday. Still inside that overnight range. No fireworks yet. Sanju, good morning to you. Fausto, they can go up and come back down. They can go down and come back up, or just keep going down. Yes, that's basically what I said. But with very specific context that makes it tradable. Remember, the way I look at markets is not to say one thing is definitely going to happen, but to say what are the possibilities that could happen. I keep every possibility in my mind so that nothing is hidden from me. There is nothing that my mind can miss because I am open to the market doing anything, always. And I see ahead of time what it would look like if it was going to go up and come down, or go down and keep going, or go down and come up, right? I see what those situations would look like. So as they're happening in real time, I can enter a position and make some money. Ronald, good morning to you. Mangala, I'm upset with myself for losing discipline this week. There is a way to build that into your system as well, right? You can force yourself to run through a checklist before you enter a trade. So you say to yourself, like, say there's like 3 questions that you ask yourself before you enter a trade. Like, am I calm or am I stressed? Did the trade come to me or am I chasing the trade? Am I using position size where I won't feel any pain if the trade goes against me and my stop gets filled, right? You come up with a couple of questions, you write them down on a sticky note, you stick it right there on your monitor, and you don't ever enter a trade unless you've asked yourself those questions. Force yourself to be disciplined. China's having some issues. Mediterra says China's having some issues with the collapse of a financial institution. Uh-oh. Da-da-da-dum. Da-da-da-dum. Yeah, it seems like their government is playing some strange games with the market. They don't quite have a free market, but it's like a lot of weird stuff happening right now. Little push-pull between the government and the powers of industry. James, welcome to you. I'm honestly have no clue what you're talking about here. It would be interesting when the Squawk Boxes go silent this afternoon and the E-Mini gets more sponsorship. Oh, you're talking about when the bigger players from the full size start switching over? Could be. Rob Farley, you missed the high and the low of the balancing area. Well, let's figure that out. I'll even mark it on my charts. Okay, so the balance area high is going to be the high from 913. That was the daily SMA from yesterday. Actually, just to play it safer, I'm going to go with the high from the 15th. Give me an entry just a little bit sooner. In case that balance area high, we'll consider that 44.7775. And the balance area low will be 44.2525. Balances. Chop, 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 chop. Market doing its grind. Its grindy thing. Bobo, welcome, Bobo. Happy to have you. Are these Sierra charts? No, what you're looking at here, this chart over here on the left is the software is called Window Trader, and it's a market profile chart. And then over here on the right, this is Thinkorswim. So I have the SPX, the NDX over here in the right side, and then I have the market internals over here on the left. The breadth, the advancers versus decliners, and the tick charts for the NASDAQ and the NYSE. Good morning, and thank you for smashing that like to my friend from Belarus. Happy to have you. Prof Stone says rejecting the overnight POC and taking out the 5-minute low is kind of bear mode. Again, I don't see it that way. But before the market even opened, just the simple fact that the overnight was rotational, 2 nights in a row was rotational, and the fact that we've been stuck, oh boy, that really zoomed out, and the fact that we're right in the middle of this larger balancing area was a signal to me that the market just needed to rotate. Part of rotation is rotating down, and then it turns around and it rotates back up. So far, this is just morning chop. There is no bigger signal as to what's going to happen just yet. Right now, it's just traders picking each other's pockets. Scalpers versus scalping algorithms. No big insights. Design Knob, good morning to you. Miles back with us. Good morning. Pavel is here. Good to see you. The POC yesterday was literally right where price is right now. 44.52.25. Design Knob giving some excellent advice here this morning. Buy low and sell high. This is the way. Thomas, good morning to you. Welcome. Miles asks, any advice on how to bounce back after giving some back to the market? I was crushing it, but I have been cold recently. Yeah, my question would be, what has been your mental state in your, like, while you're getting crushed, right? Are you feeling positive? Are you feeling like when you take a bad trade and you lose some money, are you feeling like that trade doesn't matter? It won't affect the next trade. And I just need to focus on the market-generated information, focus on my rules. Okay, getting some selling. So once again, the low of this node just below us. Where'd that pen tool go? There it is. Right around here. This, to me, would be shortable if the market pushes below it and then finds some resistance. But it's, again, not a short I would fall in love with, because you could potentially find support right down here at the lower end of balance. So it would be a quick short. If you start to find support, just take your profits. But my assumption is, if I'm right about the idea of rotation today, we should find some support right in here, where we are testing it right now. But anyway, back to your question. Yeah. So like when you take a bad trade, the reason that we as traders, we run into these problems where like you have runs of good luck and runs of bad luck is because of how the winning and the losing affects your psychology. So like the idea is you want to train yourself so that when you have a losing trade, you genuinely believe, not like in a fake way, you really in your heart and soul believe it doesn't matter. Like, that trade went wrong because trades have to go wrong. Nobody wins every trade. Losing is part of making money in this business. So you have to convince yourself that a losing trade does not affect the next trade that you're going to take. And so if mentally you can't do that, if having a losing trade makes you a little more worried that you're going to lose again and lose again, well, then it's a self-perpetuating thing where you'll just keep losing because you won't have the same confidence. And you'll become more and more frustrated. And all right, well, this is selling off like a liquidation break here. We got very thin volume. So again, I think we're going to find support in this node and start our rotation back up to backfill some of these super low level nodes. 158 contracts here. And then we'll look to see, do more sellers start to step in this area, much like a liquidation break. So that's like the biggest trick to like not getting in those streaks where you have losing streaks over and over again, is you have to mentally reset. And for some people, all it takes is like walking away from the market for like an hour, right? Like literally go for a walk around your neighborhood, walk your dog, think about other stuff, clear your mind. For me, I don't do it anymore because I live stream now, but I used to like just go watch TV for a little bit, like just put on a stupid TV show, distract myself, and kind of get back into that. Okay, now I'm stepping into the market fresh. It's a new trade. It's a new opportunity. But then you might also need that over a longer term. You might need to take like a week off. But you have to get back to your mind being calm and focused on the market generated information and focused on following your rules. Because anytime you're taking trades emotionally, over time, probabilities say those will not be profitable. You will lose money if you're taking emotional trades. The trades that make money are the systematic trades where you're following a set of rules and you're calm and focused. And so whatever you have to do to shift back into that mindset, that is the trick, you know? Man, I can't keep up with these comments if I go into long spiels. Donkey says he's not playing it, but it looks bearish. Yeah, we'll see. They're starting to build some nodes of volume here. So are they still? See? But it's buyers stepping in. It's support. So if they can get back above the zero line here, we should start to go backfill some of this. Rocky, good morning to you. Donkey, it's Bow Bow. I like Bobo better. Someone pressed dislike by mistake. Odds are they did not push it on mistake. It was Donkey, and he did it just to troll me. Partha, I'm feeling neutral right now, but they're actually about to get me bearish here. If this doesn't become support, which it's not, I'm ready to look for them to trade down and test the lower end of the balance area here. The question is, can these nodes of volume hold right here? And we're just on the bottom of it. Lots of people feeling bearish here in the chat. Lots of bears coming out. Yeah, Jeff's got a great little comment here about the rollover weeks and how they're a little bit harder to trade. And I would just also add the volatility, right? The last few days have had such volatility that kind of volatility causes emotional reactions. Like you're at every moment, you're either scared to enter a trade because you could get your face ripped off, or you missed an entry and then you're like chasing it. You're like worried, oh man, I missed my chance. And you don't know when to get in. So highly volatile days can be very tricky as well. Trading donkey, not taking credit for this one, for this dislike. Balance area low somewhere between 30 and 35. Yep, I put it down there, the official at 25. But anywhere in this range, the market could find support as the balance area low. All right, well, it's feeling bearish. Okay. They had sort of a liquidation break, brought in volume, and it was sellers. So this is new sellers piling on, looking for further downside continuation. So I'm going to put the banner as bearish, but don't think that that means all day long. There's a lot of support on a balance area low. And that's what we're trading down to in here. Real money is saying buy the NQ. Okay, NQ also looking bearish, pushing through that node of volume that should have acted as support. But just like the ES, this is a balancing area low in here. So Charles, what do you mean by a balancing area low? I don't understand. Well, the idea is over and over again, buyers have stepped in at these levels and bought it and pushed the market back up. Right? So why wouldn't they do that again today? The other way to look at it is if it pushes below there, comes back up and finds resistance, then those buyers have changed their mind. And so the market needs to head lower to find new buyers down there. And of course, door number 3 is the look below and fail, where the market trades lower, but then it pulls back up into the range. And then you know that was just to get those stops. And then the target becomes the opposite end of the range. So these balancing areas are really important, especially the longer they're there. 2 days is one thing, but 5 days, that's a powerful balancing area. I'm loving all the comments today, not loving the likes, guys. Out of 94 people, only 34 of you think I'm okay. Come on, it's free. Push the button. Give me that thumbs up. It's the only way to grow the channel. And growing the channel brings in more traders, right? So we get more opinions, more diverse range of ideas. It benefits everybody. So let's get that like button smashed. Design Knob is still on his buy the dip. They're just going to squeeze some stops and then rotate right back up. Ocean Blue, welcome. They ask, so we could see support made here and push up? Absolutely. We could see support. I don't know that we've got it just yet. I'd love to see these ticks get above that 0 line. They're starting to. Also, we're getting a little bit of a tricky signal here with the value. It's very, very minor, but value is now overlapping to lower. So that is a neutral to bearish signal. Trading back up into this node, which acted as support for a second anyway, when the market traded down. We're asking, does that now become resistance? Are the sellers piling on at that level? Shubaho Deep, you've been missing me? Well, I'm happy that you're back. Party on. Harry P, support now? No, not yet. Like I said, that resistance right here is a sign that the market needs to continue to sell off. They got to bring in the buyers. How do we bring in the buyers? We pull price lower. We make it cheaper. And then people get anxious and they want to get in there and buy. What's that? It's 10% off? I'll buy that shirt that I don't really need. What's that? 0% APR for 12 months? Oh, yeah. I'll buy a new iPhone. Right? A sale is just an advertising mechanism to get you to buy something you don't really need. And the market is doing the same thing. When it pushes prices down, it's just putting things on sale to bring in those buyers. Those ES pants look fantastic on you today. Let's jump back and look at the NQ real quick. Yeah, there's lots of support in here in the NQ. All this volume. This whole area. Back to the ES. All right, so we're now one time framing lower, and we are pulling the value area lower. So again, overlapping to lower value is a signal of either sideways or further down movement. Train Donkey says, buy the dip when? Well, you got to go risk reward. You know, Where are you going to put your stop if you buy right now? You're going to put it below that balancing area low? Are you willing to risk that much potential loss? If not, patience is the play. Wait for the support and catch it on the way back up. As I mentioned earlier, zoomed out on this for the daily, when you have a balancing area, when you trade to one end of balance and you find support, you then trade to the other end of balance. You trade back down, you find support, you trade to the opposite end of balance. You trade back down, you find support. What are you going to do? Right? So you don't have to front run the trade. You can wait and catch it on the way back up. There's a long way to go to get to that opposite end of balance. Same thing with a look below and fail. You can look below, go short with your stop right there, and then if it fails and pulls back in, you don't have to instantly reverse. You can just wait and go long right there. You know what I mean? But if it does look below and fail, you want to go long because it will trade to the opposite end. Or it will have a high probability anyway. Also got that ever popular 50 daily moving average right down there at the balancing area low. Haven't quite officially touched it yet. That's also very strong support. Proxlavavicti. Sorry, I can't say that name. It's a regular schedule. I'm here on YouTube every morning from for the first hour of the day. So actually, now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Monday and Tuesday I wasn't here. That was just I was randomly traveling. But moving forward, I should be here every day. And if you're ever curious, you can always just check the Twitter account. If I'm not going to be live streaming on a day, I'll always mention it on Twitter. Okay, well, we got good excess on the low. 3 ticks of excess. That's good excess. We got decent taper. I don't love the 19 contracts, but I can live with it. So if the buyers can start to push us above the 0 line here and stay up there, this would be the support right here. Once again, the ticks just needed me to mention them so that they could turn around and go the other way. The ticks are listening to the pirate. Design Knob woke up to find 3 deer in his backyard this morning. But did they have T-Rex hands? That is the question. Now, Fausto, I'm not picking on you, okay? But you did say earlier that you were long and you were going to leave the trade if it started one time framing lower. So this is one of those things when it comes to discipline. If you make a plan when you enter a trade of where you're going to exit, you got to exit at that moment. Otherwise, you end up stuck in the trade. So you could exit the trade right now, and if the market trades down here and finds support, you can get back in on the way back up and make back your money. You don't have to sit in the trade going against you to make back your losses on the way back up. That's how you get stuck in these trades where they go against you and you're just like panicking, waiting for it to get back up, you know? You got to just take the loss without hesitation or reservation, as it says in Trading in the Zone. Trading Donkey, those big buyers are starting to step in. Not seeing it on the ticks yet. Still pointing down. Sorry, guys, I had my mic off. You guys just missed something so insightful. No, Mackie Mac asks, would you agree that when buyers step in, they do it on an averaging basis or not all at once? And I would say no, I don't agree with that. It's a case-by-case basis. There are plenty of times where there'll be a particular level. Like it could have happened here in this node of volume yesterday where like the market will come down. It'll literally come down and like, boom, it just hits that level and then takes off the other direction. So it doesn't necessarily, they don't have to average in, but that is the way the bigger players do it, right? They don't just buy this low. They ladder their way in around the balancing area low so that they can slowly step into a position because they just trade with too big of size to enter all at once. So we continue to pull the value area lower. So Donkey's saying we just wicked out of and then back into the balancing area. Yeah, I don't see yesterday's low as being the balancing area low. I see it as the lowest level, as the official in terms of looking for the look below and fail. But that doesn't mean we can't find support in here above that level. But there's no buyers yet. Here's that 50 moving average on the daily. Let's see how they react to that. That's for the combined contract. Let's look at the December. Still a ways to go to get to December's. What about the SPX? Yeah, still a ways to go to get to it on the SPX as well. So same as before, they built up a node of volume here, and it is buyers, right? They push the ticks up from there to there. So if they can keep going, this could be the support. But we're about to push into the resistance. So let's see what happens to the ticks when we do. Fausto's asking, when would I get long? Well, I'm not taking trades at this exact second because I'm busy talking. But I could go long here with a stop below the balance area low because I'd be willing to risk that much with a very small position size. Otherwise, I'd wait to get back up through this node of volume and buy on the way. So it pushes above and then comes back down and finds support. You know, comes back up and then this area becomes support. Buy that with a stop right there. So once again, they pushed up to that resistance, and then we lost the buyers. They've got to continue to push above the zero line if it's going to work, if this is going to be support. Otherwise, got to go on sale. Yeah, Donkey, it's a good point. One time framing lower, but balance area is more potent than one time framing. Finding support at a balance area low where we found support for 4 days in a row, methinks that's more important than one time framing. Mark Nicey volume is up 35% from yesterday in the first 30 minutes. It's an interesting observation. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of rollover today because of the options and stuff like that. So there are some bigger players switching some positions around. They're selling certain stocks and buying others. So that's going to create some volume. So still feeling bearish, but I'm switching to the Brigade tag here. Ronald, 3 entries long, slightly better than break even stopped out. Just from my perspective, the response that pops into my head is, why take 3, right? If the market's trending lower and the first one doesn't work out, why not just be patient and either go short with the market or wait for a more certain long? Donkey says we got an FOMC meeting on Tuesday and Wednesday. Remarks on Wednesday. Great. Let's hope they don't say the terrible T word. Or I suppose they have to. At some point, they have to give a date. Shubaho Deep says, seems like we're quenching our thirst for new buyers. They're trying, but they're not doing a very good job. Right? Every time they try to get above that zero line, every time they try to get more buyers than sellers, the sellers step in and push them back down. But they're fighting the good fight. Ronald, feel like the greater potential is long. So you're saying you think the reward will be bigger going long than short? That's fair. But it's just a matter of probabilities, right? Is it more probable to be successful? And right now, the market generated information is still pointing down, right? So the probability is still with the market pulling down further. But you're right, there's going to be some support in here. So if the market finds support and rotates back up, there's a lot more reward to the upside. But it's a matter of looking for the right moment to enter that trade. So once again, pushing up into this resistance, can the buyers fight their way back up above that zero line? Can they work their way through it? So now just talking about trades coming to you, what my mind is thinking is we're about to print the C period. So I've got a good stop if I wanted to go short here. This is acting as resistance. Once again, the buyers are getting slapped in the face. So could go short here with a stop above, 2 ticks above that B period high. Not a great trade in terms of risk reward, right? Risking this much for the potential to make probably that much. But it did jump out at me. Let the trades come to you, as Dalton says. Wasn't looking for it. Mark, there's nothing about that sentence I like. I just like everything about that sentence. I mean, if it worked for you, that's great. Take the money and put it in your bank account. But man, I hate that sentence. All right, guys. Well, with that, I'm going to bid everyone farewell and look forward to seeing you all on Monday morning. Could be an interesting day here. Keep in mind, whilst all the market-generated information is still pointing down here, there is support around these lows. So the market could find it and then turn around and head right back up all the way to the opposite end of balance. Doesn't have to do it today, but that's what it does. It bounces between. So certainly something to keep in mind here. Thank you guys so much. If you're not a member of the Brigade, it only costs $10 to join. And you get to keep hanging out for the rest of the day. If you are a member of Brigade, give me about 5-10 minutes. And you can go check that website. I'm also going to test out an email today, trying to send everybody an email with a link. So you could also try that. No promises it'll work. This is the test day. But anyway, thanks, guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all here on Monday.